Live from tape, pre-recorded at our studios in Austin, Texas and Portland, Oregon, it's Syndicated with Lesley and Ben. Hey everyone, I'm the Ben of that.
And I'm the Lesley. This is a twice-monthly podcast about television, genre, and storytelling, in which we watch an episode of a show and explore the history of television, one episode at a time.
Today we're joined by Peter Vulfranc of These Days Are Ours, a podcast about happy days, that this time, unlike the previous time we recorded, I said correctly.
Hello. Yes, it is I, Peter Vulfranc, and I'm here to talk about a perfect jewel of a one-season show.
Yeah, I was actually shocked that this only ran for one season, because the way people talk about it, I guess people talk about hidden gems like this sometimes too, but...
Well, I mean, this is a show where one of the main characters is the party animal clone of Ghandi, so yeah, it was controversial.
Yeah, I bet. No, I did a little reading into that. Peter, welcome back. Obviously, you joined us last season to talk about Slings and Arrows for our workplace comedy season. And spoilers for what I would otherwise say in about 30 seconds. You're here to talk with us about Clone High.
Yes.
How you doing? I saw you recently hit a milestone on These Days Are Ours.
Yes. We are down to 100 episodes left of Happy Days, because Happy Days ran for 11 goddamn years.
Get your money, Henry Winkler.
Oh yeah, no shade to Henry Winkler.
No, I just watched Scream for the first time a couple weeks ago. He's real fun in that. Yes.
He's genuinely a terrific actor.
I do have a critical question for you though. When because I'm genuinely unaware. When does the shark jump happen? Have you passed that?
Yes, the shark jump happened in the first 3-part episode of season 5. And
so that show peaked early.
Yeah, although I will say that, the term shark jumping came about, years after Happy Days had ended, and, the show remained very popular for the rest of its run. So, the shark jumping, at the time, had no real impact on its popularity.
Sure. That's a academic term after the fact.
Yes.
Well, wink. If you're just now joining us, we're talking about Clone High, the short-lived MTV adult animation series about a high school populated by the genetic clones of notable historical figures, engaging in wild teenage adventures and learning important life lessons. The show ran for 1 year in 2002 and is currently being revived by HBO for 2 seasons. Which, in addition to my usual commentary about how we have to revive everything, or in original programming, etc., you know the rest of this speech. Weird that it's getting revived for twice as much as the original run, huh?
Yeah, it is.
It's a concept they seem to believe in very strongly in 2022 and not in 2002.
I guess not.
The show recently had a surprising resurgence with teenage fans recently, so maybe that's what they're banking on.
Oh.
I guess so. Lesley, do you know about this, the weird...
No, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
For whatever reason, over the summer of last year, a lot of people very suddenly got into Clone High, a 1-season MTV adult anime. You heard what I just said. From 2002.
Yeah, which is very specifically a parody of contemporary teen dramas, especially Dawson's Creek, a show that I suspect that most of the newer fans, being that they are teens, have never watched.
I mean, I haven't.
I watched an episode or two, but I was never into it. Yeah. I mean, it's, it was on. I was of an age.
That's how I feel about, I weirdly don't have experience with the teenage ones, but oh fuck, what was that? Touched by an Angel or whatever? Those of
Have you seen the episode where Mandy Patinkin is Satan and he tries to tempt Roma Downey into becoming a fallen angel, and he sings "No One Is Alone" from Into the Woods? And also, Valerie Bertinelli is there.
Well, all of that happened, so
I believe it. Good for Mandy Patinkin. No, because that show was on TV when I was 8, so I didn't track that was Mr. Princess Bride himself.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. But like that similarly kind of like overwrought melodramatic. Anyway, Peter, do you know why this happened? It baffles me to this day.
Why this? What do you
Why
mean
people? Well, I mean, I'll ask you why you got into it, but like,
well, I got into it like, I think I first watched it when I was a kid, just because I found it on Wikipedia and I thought it sounded funny, so I watched it and I loved it. And like, Miller and Lord have gone on to do a lot of things, and so has Bill Lawrence, and they were the show creators. So like, but as to why the show got a sudden resurgence of popularity recently, I suspect it's just because like young people like media about young people. And also Clone High is a cartoon, and it's one that doesn't have like a noticeably ugly animation style. The animation is very stylized and appealing to look at. That might have also had something to do with it. And also there's the fact that Luke Perry, who is the guest star in the episode that we will be discussing as Ponce de Leon, recently passed away. So that might have also led people to discover that this show exists.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah. A couple years ago, I think.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I think I actually did know this. I just didn't connect those dots. That's, rest in peace.
I know.
Yeah, it's interesting because I kind of did some math on the timing. It looks like that show had this show, Clone High, Paramount Plus had just started. But I think simultaneously, and it was on Paramount Plus, to be clear, since this is a Viacom production.
Mm-hmm.
And I think simultaneous with that, all the episodes got uploaded on YouTube around the same time.
Yes.
But it was so wild because I was scrolling Twitter and all of a sudden everyone was like, "Oh, this must be." I just assumed, "Oh, this must be a new show."
Okay,
it's 20 years old.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old show. So, how did we watch this one, gang? Did we get a 7-day free trial of Paramount Plus and cancel it, or did we watch it on YouTube?
I will wait to get a 7-day free trial of Paramount Plus when we do our sci-fi season, and I need to watch a lot of Star Trek quickly.
That would have been smart. Oh well.
Yes. I used a shady cartoon watching website that I probably should not say the name of for legal reasons.
Okay. I was just curious. We don't have to, obviously, let's not include any of this. I'm just saying.
Oh, I mean, I watched it on YouTube.
I was just curious. I got a free trial of Paramount Plus and then I canceled it.
Well, Lesley, when we eventually need to watch a lot of Star Trek in quickly, I'm sure we can share a CBS login.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same thing, by the way, happened last time when I was like, I guess I got to sign up for Acorn TV Plus, a Canadian streaming service to watch Slings and Arrows. And then one of you was just like, Ben, it's on YouTube.
And it's on YouTube. Just watch it on YouTube.
Never mind. All right. I don't need to give the Canadian government my email.
Oh, boy.
Lesley, you want to take it over?
Yeah, of course. The show is a clear parody of Dawson's Creek, Degrassi, 90210, other melodramatic teenage soap operas that became a staple of WB and then later CW's programming. And much like the teens of those shows, the Clone High teens learn just about one important life lesson a week about mental health, drugs, and society in a format that's every episode is a quote-unquote very special episode. The teen soapy vibes are there in part due to the show's montage editing set to backing tracks by contemporary artists.
I didn't really, when I was writing the script, I didn't really know how to describe this exact vibe. You all know the kind of music I'm talking about.
Yes. Could be a background song in an episode of Smallville vibe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which itself counts as a teen soapy. There just happens to be.
It very much does.
It just happens to also include Doomsday.
Yes.
Wow.
The fact that Lex Luthor is there, irrelevant.
Right? No, it's all about the teen vibes.
Yeah. It's so funny how many of those shows built the backbone of WB, later CW, until they got, like, rights to the Flash.
Right.
And then even so, like, even it's shows that have nothing to do with teens have, like, that DNA, like, baked into them.
Yeah.
Like,
it's about people having feelings and making bad decisions and learning lessons along the way.
Exactly. and the extremely episodic format of some of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I found a website that actually does like a pretty thorough breakdown of what music appears in what episodes of television or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Obviously it has to be fan curated, much like an IMDb or whatnot.
Sure.
But I actually did find the tracks from this episode, which include Great Romances of the 20th Century by Taking Back Sunday and The Meaning of Goodbye by James Stewart.
Wow.
And also one that I'm pretty sure is original.
Oh yeah, the original
Your
track.
Dead Face.
Yeah, the parody track for I'll Remember You for sure.
Yes. Sunny Day by Abandoned Pools, who also does the theme song for this show.
Wow.
Yeah, well, she did the theme song for this special episode.
The theme song for the whole series, though, I think, as well.
Yeah, but the arrangement is different for this episode. It's acoustic-y, and normally it's more of a rock tune.
Now see, this is the context we lose from only watching one episode of each show.
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.
There we go. So if you ever want to make like a super overwrought melodramatic playlist that you could set a fan cam to, or what are the kids are making these days? AMVs. Good news, you can just mine this show.
I don't think that's what the kids are calling it these days, Ben.
I don't think it's AMVs anymore. It's fan cams.
It's fan cams now, yeah.
And they're all set to Doja Cat.
Yeah.
This show was created by Bill Lawrence, who we've already covered on the show twice, with Ted Lasso and Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
And Lesley, since you brought to my attention yesterday, that Scrubs is coming back for a revival season. Ted Lasso is one of the most popular shows on TV right now, and Clone High is about to be revived. It seems like it's a great time to be Bill Lawrence's bank account.
Well, Bill Lawrence has always he's always gotten that bag, He does what he does very well and has been doing it for quite some time. So yeah, not bad, not shabby.
Yeah, and look, plenty of respect. Makes good TV, turns out. Speaking of Scrubs, I don't think I actually realized this was contemporary with Scrubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. It was contemporary with Scrubs. Obviously, as we go through the cast, there's a lot of overlap. So much overlap from Bill Lawrence properties. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But it is thrilling to see.
Yeah, for sure. When I initially did the reading on this a couple weeks back to see if it would fit for the show, spoilers, answer yes. I initially thought like, oh, this is like the thing they worked on right before Scrubs. Surely this is when they all met or whatever.
Right.
Nope. Came out the same year as like the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and of course the show was created with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who recently won the Academy Award for Into the Spider-Verse after getting kicked off of the production for Solo.
Well, I didn't know I didn't know that about Solo.
It is you know how Star Wars fans are unpleasant sometimes?
Yes, I'm aware.
That's a sticking point for them.
Ah.
That's where a lot of the fuck Kathleen Kennedy stuff comes from.
Right.
In addition,
right.
Well, I mean, obviously they all hated Last Jedi because they lack imagination and don't appreciate joy.
All right.
But also, but boy, they're really mad at Kathleen Kennedy for firing those two guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Solo was fine. I don't think it was ever going to be good. Calm down about it, nerds.
Yeah, I didn't watch Solo, actually. I missed that one. So I don't know if it's good or not.
I don't think you missed anything.
Well, fair enough. Well, and speaking of Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the two actors voice a good chunk of the roles on this show. Chris Miller voices JFK and Butlertron, and Lord voices Genghis Khan and the Principal.
Oh, yeah. In addition to the cast of the show being made up of teenage clones of famous historical figures, one of the supporting characters is a robot parody of Mr. Belvedere.
Yes.
Maybe I'm showing a gap in my TV knowledge. I can never remember. Which show is Mr. Belvedere from?
Mr. Belvedere is from the show Mr. Belvedere, about an English butler who goes to live with an American family and solve all their problems.
Yeah.
Folks, I promise that wasn't a bit. I legit didn't know that.
You're like, what show is Mr. Belvedere
He's
from?
actually originally from a novel that got adapted into a series of movies in the 1950s, and then in the 80s, he got turned into a TV show for some reason.
Because everybody needs a nice little English butler to solve their dumb American problems.
I legit didn't know that. I honest to God thought he was in a different sitcom.
Nope.
Well, that's on me. Will Forte of 30 Rock and Last Man on Earth voices Abe Lincoln. Mad TV's Michael McDonald voices Ghandi. Mad TV and King of Queens Nicole Sullivan voices Joan of Arc.
Kim Possible. She was also on Kim Possible. That's what I know her from.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And Scrubs' Krista Miller voices Cleopatra.
Yes.
And you know what was a relief to me when I watched this show for the first time?
What's that?
Nobody's doing an accent.
Yeah,
no drift.
Yeah. Krista Miller is also Bill Lawrence's wife. So.
Yes, I did catch that.
Just very incestuous stuff going on with the casting of this show.
Well, we were talking about that last season about like TV creators who like to continue to work with the same people.
Right. Well, yeah, because some of the recurring characters on this show, none of which showed up in the episode we're going to be discussing, but they were voiced by Zach Braff and Donald Faison as well. Like they have little bit parts here and there on Clone High, which they discuss in their podcast at length quite a few times. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was flipping through the cast and I saw I saw that there were some white voice actors voicing the two characters of color on this show, and just had an immediate, oh, I hope they don't. All right, let's press play.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
There is the justification that, like, you know, they, despite the fact that they are ethnically Egyptian and Indian, they grew up in America, so, like, obviously they wouldn't have the accents.
Mm.
Yeah, but
although sometimes the characters do have accents when it's like some of the supporting characters do have accents when it's funny.
I think after the Problem with Apu documentary came out, like everyone's been I think rightfully on the lookout for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good documentary, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I think I might have mentioned it to you, Lesley, and I'm sure it'll come up again on our adult animation season. In which The Simpsons is absolutely fair game, even though we haven't booked that episode yet.
So this season,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is that I watched that documentary before I ever saw a single episode of The Simpsons.
Really? You'd never seen The Simpsons?
Not before 2017.
How about that? Well, that's awesome. Okay, well, anyway, let's not blow our wads here.
Did you absorb information about The Simpsons through osmosis?
I think everybody did to a degree.
When every podcaster you listen to talks about The Simpsons as if it was the Bible. I figured out what it was about.
Yeah,
I got the gist of it.
Yeah, they definitely do that. That's definitely a thing. Like I know Stuff You Should Know did like their 1000th episode was a 2-parter about The Simpsons, and I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, it couldn't be something I care about. It's fine.
Is your podcast hosted by dudes in their 30s? Guess what? They like The Simpsons.
Well, they're in their 40s now, but yeah, fair game.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. Last but not least, the episode we watched today is Season 1, Episode 11, Litter Kills Literally. The Clone High gang is forced to confront the dangers of reckless trash disposal after a series of refuse-related accidents tragically end the life of teenage Ponce de Leon. Grief shakes the high school, and the teens learn a powerful lesson that littering is okay in moderation. Meanwhile, in a plotline that's ill-advised for a number of reasons, Ghandi goes to prison.
Yeah. Okay. Well, folks.
Television. It doesn't get any better than this.
This is pure cinema right here.
Peter, I got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
Actually, the way this show's been going, I probably only have 1 question for you. Lesley has the other one. Why Clone High?
Well, I think that Clone High is absurd in the way that really only cartoons can be. Because with live action, you are limited by what reality allows. Reality and CGI sometimes. But with animation, you can take a fairly simple premise and go wild with it. If this was live action, you'd have to find actors who can reasonably look like teenage versions of Abraham Lincoln and Ghandi and JFK. But with animation, you just have to draw them. And one of my favorite parts of this episode is when the clones and Gandhi's new convict friends are going to clean up all the litter at the school in honor of Ponce de Leon. And JFK summons animals from the forest and the sea and the sky to also help them clean up. And, like, you probably couldn't have done that in live action.
No, the animal handler budget on that episode would be enormous.
We're going to say this maybe in every episode that we go over this season with animation, and how much more it can lend to creative endeavors than live action, just because of sheer physics and the restrictions upon that which is corporeal. But I do want to say that I found it deeply amusing that Ponce de Leon just looks like Luke Perry. Like, it just looks like Luke Perry. He's drawn to just look, it's just Luke Perry. Which makes me think, what's the over-under here on the possibility that it actually is just Luke Perry? Because, like, there was definitely a long-running, like, the gag went on for a minute about how JFK, like, I don't even know you, Ponce de Leon. Like, who are you? And I was, because he just looks like Luke Perry, which I thought was chef's kiss. I thought that was amazing. That was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the big jokes of this episode is that Ponce de Leon was not a character in any of the other episodes of the show. Like, they just brought him in entirely so that he could die and inspire the clones to learn a lesson, which is a very obvious parody of similar plot lines in other shows. Here's this character who we've never met before, but is best friends with all the main characters, and they've died, and isn't that sad? And the episode is very, very vicious in that parody, but at the same time, it somehow manages to be weirdly effective. Like, yeah, watching this episode, I do feel kind of sad that Ponce de Leon is dead, even though he's the clone of a terrible Spanish conquistador colonizer bastard.
Yeah.
I did have trouble writing the word tragic loss.
Oh, yeah. Hey, but this Ponce de Leon does say there is no fountain of youth, so at least there's that.
That's right. Yeah, obviously that trope, goes back even further with, since we're talking about teen soaps, soaps absolutely do the, this is my stepbrother I've never mentioned. He's very important to me.
Right.
Sudden character introductions. It's all a chain. It all came from somewhere.
Sure. I think that leads to my question, Peter, which is going to be, why this episode of Clone High? Why this one specifically? They're all very special.
There's a lot of... This has some of the funniest gags in Clone High, in my opinion. There's the part where JFK, assaults Ponce de Leon's corpse at his funeral. Yeah. And then he gets into his coffin as, a way to atone, and then he screams that he was in a coffin with a dead guy. And, the bad Kennedy accent really just makes it so much.
Yeah.
And there's also the part where JFK is very sadly playing his Game Boy, and he's sobbing about how he killed Mario. Yeah. And why couldn't Ponce have had 3 lives like Mario? And then there's the part where he's visited by the dream ghost of Ponce de Leon.
Yep.
And he somehow ends up convinced that this is a genie, and he wishes for his dead friend to come back. And it's it's hilarious, and it's also kind of weirdly sad.
Yeah, I have those in my notes as well, because as some memorable moments for sure. Also, I do love the line where he says, "I'm a Kennedy. I'm not accustomed to tragedy."
Yeah,
dude.
That line got me.
It got me too.
It is kind of sad. Like watching a dog try to figure out a mirror. It's kind of
oh.
It's oh, buddy, that's not how this works. Oh, it's okay. You don't get it.
Yeah. He's on the cusp of developing emotional intelligence.
Oh, I don't know about on the cusp. No, you're right. Did notice a lot of gentle forehead kisses in this episode.
Yeah, many gentle forehead kisses.
I clocked about 3 or 4 of them.
Yes.
Speaking about emotional intelligence and emotional intimacy, I guess there's an entire scene where Abraham Lincoln is hugging JFK. But I don't know, a lot of oddly sweet moments that if I'm to be super honest, was not expecting.
Yeah, that's what I like about this episode. Like, they aimed to make fun of episodes like this, and they ended up creating a surprisingly heartfelt episode. It's a surprising amount of accidental sincerity. And the fact that Luke Perry himself recently died, and it was very sad, does kind of add another layer to it, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. I don't remember how he died or exactly when it was, but
I'm on it.
I'm really sad. Every time it gets brought up, I'm like, oh, that just ruined my day just a little. Because he was fantastic. I love Luke Perry. And he was fantastic in this episode. He was great.
Yeah, Ponce de Leon in this episode is kind of a riff on Perry's 90210 character Dylan McKay. You know, he's a bad boy. He litters for fun. Mm-hmm. And because everyone looks up to him, they are also all littering for fun too. Yeah. And it is that litter that tragically kills him when one of those plastic beer rings gets caught around his hands, and he gets cut by a bunch of candy wrappers, and he gets stabbed in the neck by a juice box, and then a plastic bag ends up on his head, and he drowns in a pool of his own blood. It's very, very violent, which is another thing that they probably could not have done in live action as effectively.
Sure.
That was kind of a moment for me where I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess this is a little raunchy, but I don't know what really classifies it as adult animation until one of the main characters started just pooling blood.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, there it is. I do feel like this show tonally is incredibly similar to Drawn Together, which is another...
That feels kind of mean.
What's mean about that?
Well, Drawn Together is not very good.
Well, tonally, they're very similar in that they're both parodies of a genre of television. But I definitely was not referring to the quality of either show, just saying that tonally, they're very similar in that they're both sending up another genre of television and using animation to do it in ways that you can't do in live action. So they're definitely reminiscent of one another for sure.
I guess we've covered 2, look, we're kind of at the beginnings of our adult animation season. I just realized we're 2 out of 4 for parody.
Yeah.
Because, obviously Rick and Morty is making fun of, a lot of science fiction tropes, specifically Back to the Future. But King of the Hill and Castlevania are played straight.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that for the 58th time in this episode because of the fact that you could do things with animation that you can't do with physical real life actors and sets and things. I think that the genre lends itself to parody far more
for sure
than any other.
Well, because animation by and large is exaggeration, and exaggeration lends itself to comedy and satire.
Sure.
I know you can do non-exaggerated animation, but it's easier to.
More fun too.
Yeah.
It is more fun. You can draw something obviously hyper photorealistic and whatnot, but it's also fun to make characters really just stretchy and thin and angled and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I really did appreciate the animation style. I tried to look it up and I didn't actually see any connective tissue between this and the show I'm about to mention, but it reminded me significantly of My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Just because of the kind of there's a little bit of that abstracted mod design in this.
A lot of angles. A lot of angles and shapes.
A lot of angles and a lot of kind of seeming visual reference to a lot of 60s kind of mod sort of look to it.
Very thick lines.
Well, yeah. My Life as a Teenage Robot was heavily influenced by 1960s anime, especially I would say the Astro Boy anime.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say that there's any anime influence in this show?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that either.
But at one point, I think it's in the gym. It's during the gym funeral scene. That I was just kind of looking at the backgrounds, and like to show that it was a gym, they basically just did like it's an almost all like kind of like brown orange background, with like 10 blue squares kind of disappearing off, kind of angled perspective wise backwards. And I was just like, oh, actually, I mean, this perfectly, captures like in an abstracted way what kind of room this is. But I was just realizing like, oh, it's literally just kind of like once you kind of like focus your eyes a little more and don't just perceive it as background, you're like, oh, this is just kind of like really just colored shapes.
Right.
I'm trying to get across exactly what I mean, but like, sometimes for background animation, they can abstract an idea of what you're supposed to be seeing instead of literally drawing like fire alarms and door frames and
less is more
and whatnot. And like in that moment, I was just like, oh, these are just like background elements that you would see on like any sort of like 60s like poster or whatever. Big colorful like circles or squares or sharp lines and whatnot that would like suggest a detail that isn't actually there or suggest a sort of anyway. But I just noticed like with the abstracted backgrounds and everything, and also everyone's like really kind of weird, tall or very wide angular faces.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that show in particular. Oh, Peter, I got a critical question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's that hand gesture they always do? Are they referencing something?
I don't actually know.
Folks, if you've never seen the show, during moments of irony, I guess, the characters just kind of cup their hands upward and raise them up to their chin level. Many characters do it. I don't know why they do it. It felt like they were making fun of something. I couldn't tell you what.
I don't know that I noticed that. They
kept doing like folks, we record with video.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture what you're saying. Oh, this thing. Yeah, yeah. So that's this great podcasting. This is great podcasting, Ben. This is
It looks like they're shrugging, but they're shrugging in front of their face instead of to the side of their shoulders.
They're shrugging, but their hands are in front of their face.
Are they making fun of something?
No, I think it's just a stylistic thing that was pretty popular with animation in the early aughts. I feel like that was a very familiar gesture for me to be watching, which is why I didn't even clock it. I think do some more research on it, and then we'll reconvene. You can tell us all about what you've learned.
Clone high weird hand gesture, hand raise. Oh shit! There's actually an article.
Ah.
Oh no, it's just a series of GIFs. Never mind.
Well, at least now I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah, clone high hand raise.
Oh yeah, there they are. Yeah. Oh yeah. That is. I just feel like that's something I've seen fairly prolifically in most. Here's a picture of all four of the main characters raising at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for pointing that out, Ben. Now I won't be able to unsee it, and every time they do it in the show, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, there it is again." Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. Oh no, forces admit it was you that pointed out things to me.
That is very true. That is very true.
Tables have turned.
Oh, how the turntables.
Exactly. No, it was so specific. I thought this was some sort of deep cut reference to a show I'd never seen.
I don't think so.
If they were doing a parody of a hyper specific moment from Dawson's Creek that I'm unaware of.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. Who can say?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's it's a pretty good encapsulation of Clone High. I thought it was overall I thought it was pretty funny. I thought there were a couple genuine moments that really did actually solicit a laugh out of me. I thought the first half of the episode was pretty straightforward in its comedy, but stuff like the oh god, I just got in a coffin with a dead body, the reveal that JFK is sitting in the back of that car the whole time.
Yes, there's a part where Abe and Cleo, the clone of Cleopatra, are making out at Teen Sex Cove, And then you see that JFK is there in the back seat playing Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Much to Abe's consternation, because he believes that JFK is faking his grief as a way to get close to Cleopatra, his ex-girlfriend. Because Abe is kind of the worst in the show.
Okay.
I mean, they all suck.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, teens. Teens suck in varying ways, but like Abe is... There's a specific kind of whiny male teen drama protagonist, probably best exemplified by Dawson Leary, who Abe is a pretty direct parody of.
Mm.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's fair. I just don't know if anyone. I don't know if anyone on that show is of stellar moral fiber. Is all I'm saying.
Sure, they are not.
Like trying to find the protagonist in 30 Rock. I don't think there is one. Like
that is true. Everybody on that show is not nice.
Yeah,
not morally sound, as it were.
Yeah, it's fine. That's where comedy comes from.
It's true.
Comedy relies on scumbags. Yeah, no, I did find I found some of its comedy pretty inventive. I was worried it was just going to be like that level of this is going to sound silly, but that level of satire that's just exaggeration, because all satire is exaggeration.
Right. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's the difference between this show and Drawn Together, and what makes this show work and what doesn't make Drawn Together work is that they don't know how to do it right. So I get it.
Yeah. There's like a level of satire that's just exaggerating the elements, like, make every character like louder. Or I feel like, if you like parody an action movie, either as its own thing or as like a movie within another movie or whatever, you can exaggerate the elements by doing like a lot of like fake explosions and that kind of stuff. But that's not like, that's satire, I guess, but it's not funny, whereas stuff like, I don't know, the Chris Evans mini movies and Scott Pilgrim actually are kind of funny because it's not just exaggerating. There's like actual jokes there.
Last Action Hero. That's a really good one.
Last Action Hero.
God, I love that movie.
I just rewatched it last week.
I need to rewatch it. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Hey, that movie, a little slow in the middle, largely holds up. Pretty funny.
I believe it.
Okay. I should watch that. I've been wanting to watch more Schwarzenegger movies after I unexpectedly loved Junior.
Last Action Hero is so fun. It's such a fun movie.
Peter, don't look up anything about it. I want you to go in fresh, but I do want you to know Ian McKellen's in it.
Yes.
Ooh.
But just don't know anything about it prior to watching it. Just go in as fresh and green as you possibly can. That would be my suggestion.
And also let me know what you think. Let us both know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genuinely a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably talk about the Ghandi B plot in this episode.
It's
where
dicey.
Do we want?
Like the joke is that it feels like it's going to lead up to prison rape, because prison rape jokes have been everywhere for a very long time.
Sure.
Like I remember that they showed up in Powerpuff Girls a couple of times.
It was everywhere in the early aughts, man. That was just
ha
ha.
Yeah, but then the joke is that no, the initiation they were talking about was just throwing him up in the air during the showers and saying hip hip hooray, and then he's one of them. Yep. And then they all have a nice talk about Ghandi being sad that his friend Ponce de Leon is dead, which is extra sad because he was white and privileged.
Yep.
Was he famous? No. Oh, that's still sad.
Still sad. Yeah.
Yeah, that I said at the beginning, quote, ill-advised for a number of reasons.
Sure.
Yeah, that I don't know.
It handles it about as well as it could have.
Oh, I think it could have done
but
better.
Also like
yeah, and I also don't know that it
you
was
probably
necessary.
should maybe not. You didn't have to do that.
I would have cut the whole joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I don't feel like it was necessary. Not sure why we had to have that. But whatever.
I feel like the payoff for that wasn't worth it because it's so, especially because the punchline was, what do you think we were going to do? The thing you thought we were going to do?
Right.
I don't think is a solid enough punchline for like the minute of buildup that takes.
I completely agree. And I think that it's, like, okay, come on. We get it. Yeah. You subverted the expectation that you were going to make a prison rape joke.
Except then they still did.
Except then, yeah, and it's really particularly silly and stupid because, again, like, you could have just not put that in there at all, and we all would have been better off.
Yeah, I thought the episode was funny. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a pretty stellar episode that is slightly let down by a questionable beat plot.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that always the way?
Ghandi character going to jail.
Oh yeah, good point.
Look, Ghandi wasn't a great guy, but political prisoner. Maybe don't show him go to jail.
Sure.
Right, Ghandi went to prison, right?
Feel like
presumably, considering he. Yes, Wikipedia, that Ghandi. Thank you.
Well, there have been several Ghandis. There was Indira Ghandi.
Yeah, but like, there's one I'm looking up.
Right, like, there's come on, Wikipedia.
Yes, he was in prison many times.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In both South Africa and India. Yeah, I don't know. Dicey. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently the show did actually, garner some controversy for its depiction of Ghandi overall.
I mean, I do feel like
there were massive protests at MTV's headquarters in India.
Understandable. I get it.
Yeah, I feel like, in the early aughts, being no matter how should I say this? No matter how progressive you were, because you were making things in the early aughts, the tendency was to make it as edgy as possible, right? Because edgy was in everything. It was like edginess in media content in the early thousands was like boobs in the 80s. Like, it was in everything. It was in every genre. It didn't matter. You had to have a little bit of edginess or else people weren't going to respond to your media, which is very, very strange.
Yeah. Well, it kind of feels like a backlash to like the quote unquote political correctness of the 90s.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Like, we're, like, unrepentant and irreverent and like guitar riffs and man show and all that shit. So all of that was brought to us by the early 2000s.
Yeah. I will say that I do think a kind of interesting recurring thing with the characters in this show is like how each of them deal with being clones, because you have clones like JFK and Cleopatra who like really try to live up to what they think is the legacy of their genetic templates. And then you've got Joan of Arc and Ghandi, who are basically kind of rebelling against that. Like, Joan of Arc, instead of being a super pious Christian, became a goth agnostic. And then you've got Ghandi, who specifically says in the first episode that he cracked under the pressure of being the clone of the Ghandi and became an irreverent party animal. And also, in one episode, he's diagnosed with ADHD.
Which is
okay.
Hey, solidarity.
Yeah.
Which is I guess is a fun way to approach the premise, because like otherwise, if that hadn't, I mean, all right. I was going to say, like, because otherwise I don't know what they're doing with it necessarily. But I mean, I guess they do all look like, not all of them, obviously. It's not necessarily what Joan of Arc looked like. But I mean, like, some of the background characters, like Caesar and whatnot.
Clearly very accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He looked just like Luke Perry wearing Fonzie's leather jacket.
Yeah.
And he totally had those pants.
I think that wraps up about
pants.
all. Potts' pants also got a good laugh out of me.
He gave me his pants. These are Potts' pants.
Yeah.
All right.
A fun time. Some spotty comedy issues, but overall a pretty fun time. Oh, yeah, I will say, when we were talking about animation, also kind of reminded me, again, similar due to the similar kind of angles and style, and because you mentioned it, Powerpuff Girls also kind of in that lineup.
1000%. I was going to mention Powerpuff Girls as well. Completely agree.
I'll go a little further and even say Dexter's Lab.
1000% Dexter's Lab.
One last thing I want to bring up regarding the show's weird resurgence in popularity recently. JFK, probably the most popular character in the show, and I feel like this episode is a really great showcase for him. Like, character-wise, he's like the archetypical big man on campus, rival to our heroic protagonist, Abe, in theory. But in this episode, he actually does manage to get some depth, while also being like genuinely hilarious. And I think that's a big part of why he became so popular. And also because of the fact that it's inherently hilarious to say anything in a Kennedy voice.
That is true.
That is also true.
Yeah.
Lesley, you just did some research. Do you want to tell me about what you just found?
Oh, yeah. I just literally, as we're recording this episode, found that the creator, Christopher Miller, one of them, had tweeted, I guess July of 2020, to say that he couldn't be more excited to make Clone High again, et cetera, et cetera. And he said, I mean it because I have the hands of sincerity. And it's a picture of him with like his hands up in front of his face, like they do on this show. So I don't know, Ben, maybe we've tapped into something, some kind of cult iconic, je ne sais quoi. I don't even know what it is, but I guess we found something there.
We found something there.
We found something there. The final thing that I want to say about this episode, well, I don't know if I want to. That might be my favorite joke, so I might save it. But I do have like 2 more notes, and they're very, very short, both of them.
Oh, go for it, please.
Well, I was going to say that while this isn't my favorite joke, the most time capsule-y joke that I found in the entire episode was when Butler Tron finds some item, and I can't remember what item it is, in the bathroom, and he says, between your YM and your BM. YM, of course, being Young and Modern magazine, which used to be a big thing in the 90s and early 2000s. And I was like, wow, that is a joke that tells you what year this came out. That sure is from a certain time.
Yeah, I bet. I actually, there were no captions on the YouTube version, so I actually had no idea what was said during that scene.
Yeah, I said between your YM and your BM, which is your magazine feed.
Well, the robot's voice is like a little like synthesized or whatever.
True.
And like I think the air conditioner in my house went on, or the heater in my house went on, like right over that line. I'm like, I didn't catch that.
I don't know what that was. All right.
I hope someone else did. I didn't catch a word of it.
I did. Yeah.
Now, once again, it's you who point out things to me.
The universe is back the way it's supposed to be. I do have a second note. My second note is for sure my favorite joke in the episode. And that is the presence and existence of Glenn the janitor, voiced by Neil Flynn, who's obviously plays the janitor in Scrubs, who in Scrubs' finale reveals that his name is Glenn Matthews. So that made me just incredibly happy. I thought it was great.
A running gag in this episode is that Principal Scudworth, who is voiced by creator Bill Lawrence, really hates Glenn the janitor. And after everyone cleans up all the litter at school, he just gleefully takes the opportunity to fire Glenn, which is sadly ironic because Glenn was Ponce de Leon's foster dad.
Not to nitpick, Phil Lord.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. Yeah.
I get it.
You can fix that in post. Phil Lord.
Speaking of Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, there's nothing funnier to me than when a creative duo gets one Wikipedia page. And I think it's very, whatever. I think it's perfectly understandable when it's Joel and Ethan Coen and when it's the Russo brothers. I get that. It's so funny because Phil Lord and Chris Miller are not related.
Right.
That they share. Like, I get it. They've worked together on everything.
They're just sharing a life.
Yeah. It's so funny when you look at their, like, when you look at, like, the template on the side of a Wikipedia page that lets them know, like, their alma mater and stuff. And it's like, children, 2, parentheses, Miller.
Wow. Peter, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't this the only episode in which Glenn the janitor appears as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, he's literally fired.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no more janitor after this episode as well.
Yeah.
I think
So remember, litter in moderation, because some people's jobs depend on litter.
True that.
I'll feel better about that in the future.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about favorite jokes and take it out of here?
I just said mine, so.
Yeah, and I think I said all of mine earlier, but I am going to have to go with the entire sequence with JFK and Dream Ghost Ponce de Leon.
It's not my favorite joke, but a fun callback to that is when he's just casually rubbing his forehead to try to summon him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he tells Abe, who has gotten over himself and is comforting JFK, he's a genie now. He lives in my head.
He lives in my head.
Okay, I got weirdly southern there for a second. I don't know how that happened.
My favorite joke was genuinely the "Don't worry, I've got my Game Boy" line, because I truly was not expecting there to be a third character in that scene. Which, whatever. If comedy is subverting expectations, then fuck, that one got me.
That was a good one. Yeah, that's how you do it right.
Yeah, but I think that wraps everything up. Peter, where can we find you and your podcasts?
Okay, you can follow me on Twitter at Peter Vulfranc, that's PeterVulfranc, and you can follow my podcast on Twitter at Fonzie Podcast, or you can go directly to our website at thesedaysAreours.libsyn.com.
Hell yeah. Peter, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you for having me. I love attention.
So do we, Peter.
Yeah,
so do we.
We're podcasters.
We all together.
We all do. Speaking of which, you can find me online at Ben C. Hamlin. That is BenChamlin. You can check out my other show, Parascience, a tabletop horror podcast, over at InfinityBreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way. You can check out all of InfinityBreak.net's work over there. Additionally, I don't plug it all that often, but twitch.tv/InfinityBreakGaming. Stream about 3 times a week on there. Lesley, where can people find you?
People can find me at Vanetti on Twitter and pretty much everywhere else, VANETTI, talking about all sorts of cool stuff lately. Come and say hi and talk to me, ask me questions about this or other shows, including Scrubs, which I clearly know a lot about.
Excited for that? Excited for the revival?
Yes. Super thrilled. All right.
You can check out all of InfinityBreak.net's work over at InfinityBreak.net, where we're telling stories our own way. A couple of wonderful shows over there, including Sneebolt the Movies, another film criticism podcast, media criticism podcast, I should say. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/InfinityBreak. We have a full episode up, which was our discussion about the Righteous Gemstones, season 2 of which is absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, we have a number of full episodes up on there if you want to support our Patreon. But that's about it. InfinityBreak.net, InfinityBreak23 on Twitter, patreon.com/InfinityBreak. Please help spread the word about this show. Tell your friends, leave 5-star reviews. You know the deal. We will see you in 2 weeks' time for another adult animated series. Really excited to keep plowing ahead on this season. Thank you so much for joining us, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thanks so much for joining, Peter.